Did you ever hear the story about the movie star and the monk? No? Well, let me tell you about it. So I enjoy reading and listening to wise people talk about big, profound ideas. And sometimes these ideas are overwhelming or impractical, or they're vague and wishy-washy. But sometimes, just sometimes, these ideas are profound and immediately useful. This is a video about those types of ideas. Now, I've been reading a really good book by a very wise man, a man I would not have assumed was wise, which is immediately an issue with me. Because we say, don't judge a book by its cover, and we mean it more than one way. Well, the cover of this book is this, and I judged it. I will probably do several videos on this book because I'm only a quarter of the way through and it's already made me cry and laugh and nod along more than many times. But for today, I want to focus on a single idea that I've taken straight on board. So Matthew has had a remarkable life. I mean, so remarkable you might call it unbelievable, but he takes major issue with that word.
Unbelievable is the stupidest word in the dictionary.
And I would too. Before I turned 40, I'd spent a year living with a Churchill-loving family in a hamlet in Australia, floated on the Amazon in pursuit of a wet dream, travelled to every state of America in my own RV, and become a Hollywood superstar. I might not call anything unbelievable, but these are not the stories that I want to focus on. Shortly after Matthew McConaughey filmed A Time to Kill, which made him a breakout star, he found himself overwhelmed by fame and all the temptations that come with it. He heard about, through a friend, a Benedictine monastery in the New Mexico desert. And let me tell you, what makes this story so powerful is not just where it happened, but how it happened. Getting there is, to say the least, not easy. The monastery is at the end of a 13-mile dirt road that you have to walk in most weathers, miles from the nearest place. And when I say place, I do not mean town or city, I mean place, a tiny little village with 300 people. You have to really want to get there. And once you do, you're a world away from everything. There's no phone signal, no distractions, just the monastery, the desert, and silence. And the monks that lived there lived by ancient routines, rising before the dawn, praying, working the land, observing silence. And they do welcome anyone that seeks peace and reflection. So Matthew had a friend drop him off at the end of the 13-mile trail and spent 3 days living with the monks in that peace, quiet, and reflection. He asked the monks if there was a colleague of theirs, someone that they could point him to who would be able to speak with him about the things that he was feeling. And they pointed him towards Brother Christian. Now, McConaughey spent 4 hours confessing, crying, pouring out his soul, everything that he was thinking, that he was ashamed of, that he was scared of, the pressure, the mistakes, the excesses, the confusion. And what he was expecting was maybe advice, maybe judgment. But instead, Brother Christian listened silently the entire time, did not say a word. And when McConaughey finally stopped, exhausted, tearful, the monk simply looked at him and said, "Me too." Now sit with that for a second. This Benedictine monk who lives 13 miles up a dirt track from the nearest village, which is home to 300 people, I'm saying that wrong. I'm definitely saying that wrong. And who lives most of his life in silence, was admitting that he holds the same sort of egotistical drive and desires and spiritual doubts that Matthew, and indeed all of us, do. And so this moment was incredibly powerful to McConaughey, and he describes it as a truly life-changing moment, a moment where his fame could have engulfed him, ruined him, and led him astray. And this moment is a perfect example of some of the work that I've experienced in peer support. So peer support is an incredible tool whereby friends, strangers, and everything in between can share their feelings honestly without advice or judgment. And we gain peace and a sense of like a diminished fear of that thought, merely from understanding that we are not alone in these feelings. We all have a life full of mistakes, doubt, and loneliness, and we all have the same desire to feel heard and connected. In this story, McConaughey, without knowing it, speaks beautifully to the power of compassionate connection. He also talks a lot in the book about a lot more brilliant stuff, which I'll come to in some more videos. But for now, just remember that feeling that you're holding on to, you're not alone in it. You can live life knowing that even if you think your deepest, darkest thought is specific and particular to you, it might be that a monk in the desert is thinking exactly the same thing. Thanks for being a cutie and watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.